Working out when you have issues like dizziness, fatigue, rashes that are exacerbated with heat and sweat makes it feel really impossible to work out. And there are definitely days and even weeks where that is absolutely true for me. But I also feel really bad when I don't work out for a while. I mean, physically bad. Like, it's not good for my joints. And so it's this really hard balance between doing something that's going to make me feel good in the future and makes me feel really bad in the immediate moment. Like when I start sweating, my skin gets itchy. It's like all that MCAS kind of flare up stuff. And sometimes if I get too hot, it'll lead to almost instantly a migraine and rashes. And the rashes are painful. So I just give that experience so that I get it and I'm coming from a place of this is not a should. This is not like a moral obligation. We get enough of that messaging all around. This is just my view and my personal experience with working out. Specifically, I go to a gym that is focused on movements that are good for your joints. The whole program is created by a physical therapist, and the personal trainers follow a very laid out plan. And genuinely, I love the exercises. But when the exercises get a little bit too fast, like more into cardio based work, then I start to feel dizzy. I can feel my head, like pressure in my head, all of that, and I have to slow down. And sometimes I even have to stop completely. And it's hard because like different trainers, some trainers are really good about just like letting you be. And, some of them know me and they know that's just my typical thing. Like in the middle of a workout, in the middle of a set, I might lay down and start doing breathing exercises or just gentle like bridges, stuff like that, so that I can calm my heart rate back down. And, a lot of times they will intentionally say, like, "Get your heart rate up." Like, that's what you're supposed to do when you're exercising, but that's what you're supposed to do when you don't have any other issues that are exacerbated by getting your heart rate up. So, you have to listen to your own body and really essentially, like, not worry about you're gonna worry about it because the thought still crosses my mind. This morning, there were, like, 6 or 7 other people in class, and don't know all of them, so they are not used to they're not used to me just laying down in the middle of a workout set. And so, yeah, the thought crosses my mind like, "Oh my god, what are they thinking right now?" They're probably thinking nothing because they're focused on their own workout, but that is the thought that goes through your head when you're doing something that's different than the rest of the crowd. This is just human psychology, basic innate behaviors 101. So we just know all of this is normal and we move with it from that state of mind. So, okay, I'm going to feel a little self conscious that I'm laying down while everybody else is like doing jumping jacks. And I try to just do something during those moments. Again, sometimes it's just breathing exercises, which means I'm laying flat on my back, breathing in through my stomach, making sure that I've got full deep breaths. And again, that can literally to the outside eye look like you're doing nothing, like you're just falling asleep. But I know that I'm doing much more than that. I'm settling my nervous system. I'm bringing it back down. I'm reminding my body that it's safe. And then I can get back up and start engaging very slowly in either the same exercises or I will do physical therapy exercises. So, for all of you who have physical therapy exercises and don't feel like you know when to do them or you just never can find the time, just know that that's really normal. I think PTs know when they give an exercise like, yeah, you're probably not going to do this, but we have to tell you to anyway. My personal take on that is that we're trying to do physical therapy alone. Like we go home and we're supposed to like set aside a time while we're watching TV or something to get these done. And that's wonderful if you do actually do that. But if you are struggling with getting them done, it's probably because you're trying to do them alone. And we feel safer in community. Yes, we have things like social anxiety. Sometimes we don't feel safe around people or certain people. That's all valid. But we are communal beings. And if you think about animal biology and pack animals, they look out for each other when they're doing something sedentary. So there's usually a pack might be eating together, but there's someone who's kind of keeping an eye out in the pack to make sure that everyone can be like just focus on eating and be safe. So when we're trying to do physical therapy exercises and we live with chronic pain, movement feels dangerous in our body. And so if it feels dangerous, then ideally we want somebody there, someone we trust, like the physical therapist, to be there while we're doing the movements. Even if cognitively in your brain you say, of course I don't feel danger. I don't even feel scared doing these exercises. I can do them so easily when I'm at PT. It's just when I get home for some reason I can't get them done. Again, this is not a cognitive logical thing. This is a very like in your soul, in your nervous system, depths of your body. There's a fear center that says, be careful. So I find it's really beneficial for myself to do these things in front of people who know either what they're doing or, for example, even though I'm doing these PT exercises during a workout class and I'm like the only one doing my PT exercises, everybody else is doing the prescribed workout. And even though that the personal trainers at my classes are not physical therapists, I do know that they at least understand functional movement because that's the type of people that my gym employs. And it just makes my nervous system feel safer. So again, this isn't logical. It isn't cognitive. It's just a nervous system response. So instead of trying to like understand it further or try to logic my way out of it, I just go with it. I know that if I'm going to do PT, I have to be with my physical therapist or I have to be at the gym and it has to be with other people. Every once in a while, I can get myself to do it at home, but I don't force myself to do that anymore. If I'm taking care of my body at home, it's usually in an Epsom salt bath. That feels the best for my nervous system. It's the most doable, so it just feels good to be doing something that I can actually accomplish rather than, okay, I just did my PT exercises at home, but the whole time I was feeling like unsteady with them. And is that really even worth it? For me, the answer is no. For you, with your situation and your context, it might be a different answer, in which case that's great. That means you just intuitively came to figure out what is right and what is not right for you. So just know that when you are working out or trying to work out, we have to find these environments that work for us. And I had been going to this clinic since 2019 before I ever attended a workout class there. I was going as a medical patient, and it took me until I think it was 2 years for me. And then I met with the physical therapist there and then eventually decided that I wanted to try to do the group classes. So I actually started doing group classes while I was pregnant in 2021. And I think that also gave me a little bit of like, oh, I have this excuse to like go slower. And you don't need an excuse, but sometimes our brains just work like that. So I think there was actually a little bit of safety in that it was, I didn't feel as self-conscious going slower while I was pregnant than if I wasn't, because all of my chronic pain, illnesses, issues are invisible. So it's just easier. I just know people are going to understand more when they see a bump on your stomach than when they see nothing at all. Now I'm not pregnant anymore. And, again, like there's all these new people, there's new trainers, there's new people in class every time. So I know what it's like to be on that side too. And I think being pregnant helped me like initially move through that insecurity. And now that I'm not pregnant anymore, I can take the lessons that I learned then and take them with me now, even though I'm not pregnant. So yeah, this morning and last time I went to work out, were really, really tough sessions. Last time it led to a migraine and I ended up with a full body rash after, but there were other reasons for that too, but it was just this perfect storm of everything together. And then that led me to, I think, 3 or 4 weeks of not going back to the gym. And so I went this morning and yeah, I could really only do, I would say, a good half of the workout. The rest of the time I was on the floor, deep breathing, doing some very slow movements. A good example of what these slow movements look like There is an Instagram account that I just think is phenomenal, and I'm hoping to get her on the podcast soon. Her Instagram handle is actively autoimmune, and she just does a lot of videos of slow, deliberate movements. I think in a world where we only see like the best of the best and the most intense and like the things that get the most likes are the things that have the most like impact. And if you live with chronic pain, you likely need a very low impact exercise routine. So we want to start to turn on some mirror neurons with things that are actually going to be helpful for us. So again, I like Actively Autoimmune's Instagram for that. So the moral of the story is if you are in a place where getting your body moving again is a goal of yours, try to think about some of these ways that you can make the whole experience easier for you physically. And then the mindset around it, you can work on that part. If you actively want to work on changing a mindset, figure out first what you would need your environment, how you would need your environment to be different. And then you can figure out exactly what goals you want to work on as far as like mindset change. So that's how I approach exercise. It's been a long 10, I don't know, 13, 14 years of fighting myself with getting my body moving. And this is how I bring some more peace and harmony and joy back into movement for myself.
Thanks for listening. If you learned something new today, consider writing it down in your phone notes or journal and make that new neural pathway light up. Better yet, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram, email me, or leave a voice memo for us to play on the next show. The way you summarize your takeaways can be the perfect little soundbite that someone else might need. And lastly, leaving a review really helps others find this podcast, so please do if you found this episode helpful. And P.S., clicking subscribe ensures you'll be here for the next episode. See you then!